If you're dealing with your trustee, they do have a standard of care that they owe to you as a trust beneficiary. And the standard of care in California is really quite simply stated. A trustee must use the reasonable care, skill, and caution that a similar person would use under like circumstances. Now that can be a little bit of a tricky standard, because if you're saying that somebody must use the reasonable care, skill, and caution, it's open to interpretation as to what reasonable is. It's what we call a flexible standard. So it's going to change with the times, it's going to change with the circumstances, depending on what the trustee is confronted with and the job that the trustee has to undertake with the trust assets that are in the trust. Some trusts, for example, maybe just have investment assets. Well, investment assets are different from commercial real estate or from residential real estate or from some risky, closely held corporation. Each of those assets require a different care, skill, and caution than the other assets, and that's the reasonableness standard. It has to be applied based on the circumstances that the trustee is facing at that time. The good news is that if a trustee is acting unreasonably, they're not doing what a reasonable, prudent person would under the circumstances, then you can hold that trustee liable because they've violated their standard of care. The bad news is that reasonableness is flexible, so what you think is reasonable may be different from what a judge ultimately decides is reasonable. It's open to interpretation. But even within that flexibility, there certainly are outer boundaries that a trustee simply cannot cross, and that's what we're looking for when we're looking for a bad trustee who's acting outside their standard of care. Once they cross those outer boundaries, then you can hold their feet to the fire and hold them liable for violating the standard of care in California.